All right, well, welcome back. This is Diana, the ARC Lady with ArcTech.co, and with me today is Chris Stinson. He is a pay-per-click expert based out of Georgia. And as usual, we're having nothing but tech glitches. I don't know what that is, but you'll see his picture today, and hopefully we can get good audio. The last session we did not come out. But today we're talking about pay-per-click for business. If you haven't seen the introductory snippet that we did with Chris, I encourage you to go watch that. But in this edition on our Webucation, we're going to be talking about some of the changes that are rolling out for pay-per-click in June, just around the corner. So welcome, Chris, and let's get right into it.
Hey, how are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm good, despite tech glitches.
Yes, exactly. I'm a pay-per-click expert, but I'm not quite a webcam expert, apparently.
That's all right. All we need is the great information you have to share. So when you're working with clients, let's talk a little bit about that briefly, how you help people with their pay-per-click campaigns, and then let's get into some of the changes that are coming down the pike for those people who are already using pay-per-click, what they might see, and how you can help them.
Okay, it really varies working with clients. Some clients are starting a new pay-per-click campaign. Some have it currently running. So in each instance, I'm going to sit down and learn a little bit more about their business, what their goals are, their KPI, key performance indicators. It's a crazy acronym, but really what it boils down to is I want to find out what they're looking for. If you're a painting company, obviously you want people to pick up the phone and call you who are interested in having their house painted or what have you. So, again, it's a lot of getting to know the customer, the website, what their perfect client is, and then setting up a pay-per-click campaign or tweaking the pay-per-click campaign so that they can take advantage of the traffic that's out there. And then the other one is you had mentioned what changes are coming. And Google is coming out with what's called enhanced. Actually, they pushed that back to July because originally they were going to do it in June. So they pushed it to July so people have a little more time to take care of that. But what it is at this point, you can advertise with Google on desktops or laptops, tablets, and mobile, and you could technically set up 3 separate campaigns for each one of those, so you can find out which one performs the best. What they're doing is they're rolling everything into one, so that you're basically bidding on keywords on all 3 of them. And the crazy thing about it to me is that although they are segmenting mobile from the rest of it, they're lumping in desktop and tablets together. So there's things that you can actually do, like, for example, if you only wanted to do a desktop pay-per-click campaign, you could negative 100 out mobile, so you're not getting any mobile traffic. So you can run that, but you can't get rid of tablets. And that's one, in my opinion, that is more of a moneymaker for Google, but tablets and laptops or desktops are used for 2 completely different things, in my opinion. So that's one of the issues that people are facing now.
Okay, so what do you think the big hiccup is going to be for people who are trying to manage their own campaigns?
There's a lot of enhancements that are coming through. Like I said, there's this. What they're doing is not completely a bad thing. There's a lot of really cool features that are going on. The issue that someone may have that's running their own campaign is that if they're not going and being diligent about what's bringing them traffic and what's converting for them, then they may be bidding on mobile traffic that's the cost per click is just as expensive as a desktop or laptop computer, and they don't convert the same. So that's really the biggest thing, is kind of paying attention on what you're going to do and what works best for you.
Okay, so what do you think is the biggest issue that most people are facing with their pay-per-click. I know previously we had talked about a few different things. So why don't you address, I put a few of those questions up in the chat. So if you want to take a look and maybe address some of those questions from some of the business owners that are using pay-per-click but maybe are running into some problems, it might be helpful for them to get some of those answers.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, basically some of the things that I see is that, they don't have their traffic segmented enough. They may be going after keywords that are very broad, and they may not be sending them to the correct landing page or pages or what have you. And then they may not be completely tracking all of their conversions. A lot of people only track their form leads or form fill-ins. One of the things that I see that they're missing out on is tracking phone calls. And in a lot of businesses that I work with, phone calls represent about 75% of all the conversions, whereas forms or what have you may get only 25%. So if you're not tracking your phone calls, then you're missing a good chunk of data that you could use to refine your pay-per-click campaign.
Right, and I totally agree with you. One of the things that we encourage people to do is to actually track those phone calls. And what I find is that a lot of people are a bit resistant to tracking calls, and I'm not really sure why, because you can't measure what you can't track.
Right.
And we want to, as people who are generating leads for businesses, to convert those prospects into customers, those searchers into customers. We really want to see the actual results. And I wasn't aware that it was 75%. That's pretty astounding.
Well, so for some of my customers, I mean, typically like the local businesses, people will tend to pick up the phone and ask questions versus filling out a form and saying, hey, contact me. It's just, it seems to be the way that I'm seeing and the way most people work.
Right. Okay, good point. And by conversions, for people who aren't really familiar with pay-per-click, pay-per-click is an advertising model. In this case, we're talking about Google, where you take out an ad, you target specific keyword terms that people are using to find your products and services. And a conversion wouldn't just be a click-through. Conversion is an action step where somebody takes action to contact you. So it could be filling out a form, it could be calling you, it could be emailing you, right? Anything else
Yes.
I'm missing?
I mean, some people, track conversions as a number of pages of views, which that wouldn't really help out a lot of people. But that's essentially it. Either they're going to ask you, or they're going to pick up the phone and call you, or they're going to fill out something on your website that says, please contact me.
And one of the things I think you brought up that's a good point is having specific landing pages. You want to talk a little bit about best practices for that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into best practices. Your landing pages and what you have on your page can determine a few things like your quality score, which we can go real in depth on that. But essentially, what that means is that can lower your cost per click. But the landing page, you want to make sure that it's aligned with your advertising on Google and the keyword that they search. So let's say, for example, we'll use painting again. If I have an ad and I'm bidding on the keyword, painting for the outside of my house, and then I click on that ad, and then it takes me to a page that has pictures of the inside of the house being painted. Well, I was more or less interested in having the outside of my house painted. So you kind of want to get in that conversation of what your customer or your potential customer is looking for in their head. And if you're bidding on terms like outdoor 3,000 square foot house painting job or what have you, you want to have pictures of the outside of houses that you've completed, not commercial buildings or not bedrooms that you've painted. So you want to make it as targeted as you possibly can. I mean, because you're paying for that click, and you might as well get the most for your money.
Right. And are there any other specific changes you can mention quickly before we wind up?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things coming down the pike. They got like some really cool features going on. You can do site links with each individual ad group. You can multi-device tracking is coming online. So, for example, if I was on my phone and I'm walking around and I look for pizza, or whatever, and then I go home and I get on my laptop and then I call them or I order pizza, they're going to be able to track that to a certain level. They're not going to be able to do it for everybody. They, also again, you can bid less, or you can make adjustments for bids for mobile devices and location devices. So let's say, for example, you know that you get really busy at 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. You can increase your bid, Monday through Friday or Monday, Wednesday, or whatever by 25% for that specific time frame, and then back it down on the times when you're not as busy. So you're capturing the traffic, essentially when they're looking for your product.
Okay, so you mean busy at the actual business, or busy as far as search?
Well, busy, like, for example, we'll choose the pizza again and say 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock is when your busiest time is. You can say pizza delivery is a keyword you might be bidding on or what have you. And from 11 to 1 o'clock, you can increase your bid by 50% so that you're showing higher. And then the times when it's, 3 to 5, which a whole lot of people, don't eat pizza, then you can decrease it by 50%. So you're maximizing your budget, basically trying to find people when it's lunchtime or you're most busy.
Oh, okay, I get it. Because from my perspective as a business owner, I would think I'd be wanting to bring in people during slower times.
You do, but if they're not searching for pizza delivery, then what's the point in increasing your bids on that? Because so you want to get them while they're thinking about you.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, and then they're also allowing you to create offers that can time out or what have you. So, for example, if you're an online store, you can say 20% off. Use this code. They click on that link, and then maybe it'll take them to a page that has the code, and they can, if they purchase something, they use the code, and you can have those expire like a week, day, or whatever. So they are allowing a lot of flexibility, and like so there's some really cool changes if people take advantage of it.
Okay, nice. Anything else before we go?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Diana's been gracious enough to have this webinar with me, and if you guys, if anybody out there that sees this needs some advice, just has questions to ask, or just wants to bounce anything off of me, feel free to do that. I'm here to help you guys.
Okay, and if you want to get a hold of Chris, you can find out a little bit more about him at archtech.co. We'd be happy to have him talk to you for a initial phone consultation. So that's it for this segment. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments, and I invite you to join our Webucation email series. It's free. You'll get notification of any of our additional Webucation shorts like this one, or our hour-long seminars. So thanks, Chris, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.